Hello and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. This is Nick, and today we are going to look at Cloudberry Kingdom, a game that's been on my radar for a little while. It's been kind of lying low, and it's getting ready for release, and I got my hands on the closed beta, which is awesome, and I'm really happy to show you guys, because this is a game I think I'm going to be doing a Let's Play of, because this is pretty much perfectly up my alley. So this is, we're going to call him Indie Stew, because he's got a sweet beard and he's kind of tie-dyed, and yeah, that just seems right. So let me show you what this game's about. We're going to do a brief run in arcade mode, Time Crisis, just to start out. What this is a completely procedurally generated platformer that will create levels for you based on AI, and it actually is really good at doing this. It's got a whole bunch of obstacles and tricks, and it's going to make levels that are not only insanely difficult after a while, but are actually possible, unlike half the crap we find on Super Meat World. So, this is the game proper. It looks pretty simple, the graphics are pretty simple and everything, but it really plays quite well, actually. I wasn't a huge fan of the graphic style. I thought it kind of looked a little like basic Flash or something, but after getting my hands on the controls for a while, I actually am glad that it's sort of basic, because the graphics and the control style actually go well together. And the goal of this mode, if you couldn't figure it out, is to get as far as you can with the amount of health, or time that you have, rather. And the time ticks down slowly, but you get another second for every gem you can pick up. My record on this is, I think, level 75, and the levels will just keep coming infinitely. So because of the way the AI works, the levels will be created to be possible, and the game will actually test them for you before you play it, so you'll never get in a situation where there's a level that just can't be beaten. And when you get stuck in some of these levels, you can actually call for help and ask the computer what the path is through the level, and it can either just step through it like a replay for you, or you can ask for a real-time demonstration that you can jump along with. I don't know if I'll show that in this episode, but if I do this Let's Play, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to, I'll probably end up showing that in there. So the goal is to just get through these levels as fast as possible, pick up as many of these gems as possible, and keep my score up, or my time up. And as you can see, it's little by little, it's adding more and more obstacles. A lot of these are like classic Mario trope kind of obstacles. The rising and lowering platforms. You've got stuff that looks sort of like a weird womp, like hybrid on a chain, hybrid womp chain chomp. It's a weird thing to say. And these blocks, which remind me a lot of the style that is in the game Castle Crashers, or there was this game that they're still apparently working on, the same studio, Battle Block Theater. It actually kind of reminds me of that. And of course these gems remind me a little bit of rupees, but you know, whatever. And of course these spinning flame poles, or whatever you want to call them, those are very Mario-like as well. But you knew that already, I didn't need to tell you. So it's pretty awesome that you can customize your character. It's pretty awesome that there's a whole bunch of stuff to unlock by spending these gems on it. Unfortunately, don't really have the option to do that in the beta, since some of the features aren't finished, like the actual proper campaign mode. But even without that, there's a million hours worth of stuff to do in this, so, you know, even if I never got the proper game, I would still be able to play this for a really long time. And it has a custom level generator that you can choose to play, basically set up parameters and have it generate a level for you, sort of like in Worms. And then you can scoot through that and see how you do. And you can set the levels to be insanely difficult, like nearly impossible difficult, but like I said, they're always beatable. Look at this giant flail thing. Reminds me of something from Terraria. So among the other game modes, there's also one called Escalation, where you play without a time limit and still basically do the same thing, try to progress as far as possible. I've just unlocked Hero Rush 2. And Hero Rush 1 is another game mode which will let you progress through a gauntlet of levels, sort of like WarioWare style, where every level has a different parameter to it, where you might have all of a sudden a jetpack on your back, or you might have double jump, or you might be super small or super big, or you might be attached to a wheel, or you might just be a ship like in Gradius. That happens sometimes. So you can see I'm not having too much trouble with these. These levels are reasonably easy up through 50 usually, although the randomization, I mean, the scaling is amazingly good. Sometimes I've had it make a few harder levels than other times, but, you know, this is maybe my third or fourth time even playing this at all, so there's probably a lot more to be learned. And I really like the fact that you can just sort of run through each level. There's not a lot of, like, stopping and waiting for obstacles. Oops. These red guys drop, by the way, and those are like Koopas. Because, like, the custom levels that people make a lot in Super Meat World, they're usually... Well, I mean, they usually don't look very good, and a lot of times they don't play very good either, but the ones that are really good are amazing, and I wouldn't sacrifice those for anything, but this game can pretty reliably make good levels, which is quite a feat, and I do not envy the task that the developer Pwnee Studios had when they undertook this very ambitious design idea. Uh-oh, ghost level, these are hard. Nice. So in addition to going for keeping your time up, you're also trying to get your score up as well, because there's rankings for that too. Surprised I'm still in this. Thought I would have lost by now, actually. Had a slightly harder set of levels than the last time I did this. Crap. I knew I wasn't going to make it. Some levels are just inherently longer than others too, which is kind of lame considering this is a time trial. But I don't want this to go on forever anyway, and I think I did pretty well. Level 57. Let me show you Hero Rush real quick, because this is pretty crazy as well. I've only gotten to like level 16 or something. I didn't do as well in this one. I think the first level always starts you out normal. Let's see, yeah. And then you get a jetpack. When you have no arms or legs, like Rayman style, that's double jump. And then that one's a shrinking level, and of course this is keeping the same time trial setup as before. These are hard when you set up against a wheel for some reason. Oops. The momentum on it is brutally hard, like, you just keep rolling. Oh, right, ship. This one, you just fly. And now I have a box attached to my head. And this one I'm extra large, and you can actually play with the physics and tweak stuff yourself in one of the game modes. Lets you customize just about everything from like the size of your character to what sort of jump style you have, if you have an extra object like a jetpack or what have you. So I mean, pretty much this game could be played forever, just given what we have so far, and there's still a lot more to be added as far as I can tell. Because I tried playing around with some of the different themes for level creation, and it seems like you pretty much always get the same background. Oops, wow, I actually crashed, that's really lame. Go the long way then. But yeah, I've already been playing this for a bunch of hours, and I think I'm going to be playing it for a lot more. I can't imagine a much more addictive idea. I mean, we've kind of gotten our fill of Super Meat Boy. The Let's Play of Super Meat World's been going on for like 24 episodes now. I can't see too many more coming, just since we don't really have access to any more content. Since, you know, uploading has been disabled for now, or forever, I'm not sure. So maybe this can take its place, since I kind of see this as a nice progression from Meat Boy. Or at least a nice alternative to Meat Boy. I wouldn't say this is necessarily a progression, but it's definitely different. Doing okay this time. The control on this is generally really good too, like the tactile feeling when you land on a surface, you have a very good sense of friction. And it feels like you pretty much are in great control of your character all the time. Like, even for those really tough jumping, like, over the ghost segments and stuff like that, I feel like I pretty much am in great control. Especially once you sort of learn the parameters of how jumping feels in this particular game, because it's always different in every platformer. But I think as far as this game goes, they did a great job with the controls. And as usual, I'm playing this on a 360 controller, which is always nice. That sucked. Ugh. The momentum is really strange sometimes. You feel like you don't really have a lot of control to push forward or backward. But it's really for your own good, because it means you have a lot more air control than usual. Whee! Okay, got a big rocket boost there. Sort of have to pay extra careful attention to what my character's doing each time, because these levels last such a short amount of time. You could very quickly kind of forget that you're going to have a different set of abilities each time. Is this giant wheel? No, just regular wheel. No! Good. And the music is really good on this game also. There's a few tracks that are included, and I liked all of them, actually. And it's pretty cool that they let you switch that up in the middle of gameplay, too, with the shoulder buttons. So there's a lot of praise to be thrown on this game so far. So Time Crisis you saw, Hero Rush you saw. Hero Rush 2 is like a slightly harder version with, I think, weirder combinations of attributes for your character. Escalation is sort of like what you would imagine a campaign mode to be like, although the campaign mode is locked in the beta so far, so I guess it's not done. But this is no time limit, you get 15 lives to start, and then every 25 gems you get a new life. And then in Hero Factory, this is where you can mess with the physics and jump styles and size and all that stuff. Change the acceleration velocity. So it's sort of like a toolkit. Oops, I didn't actually mean to start a game. Let's go back out. It's like a toolkit to sort of play with and make your own setup. And then in free play, this is where you can really mess around and have fun. This is going to let you actually customize everything about your levels. You can pick a background, which, as I said, so far I think only the regular one you've been seeing is available, the sky or pretty hills background. You can set the game style, which I'm guessing these are like screen progression type up and down levels. Not sure what build means. We can try that out later. Set up what kind of hero you get. I don't know why you'd want to play as like anything really but the regular one, but I guess you can have fun with some of like the double jump and stuff. And then you set the difficulty to the hardest you can stand. I'm going to do an insane 3 checkpoint hardcore just to demo real quick for you. And you'll see what I mean. This is really tough stuff. And I love that you can just set up levels and just mess with them. You can pretty much change every kind of attribute about it, and I think in the final version you're going to be able to like actually tweak a slider for each possible impediment. So if you want a level that's really heavy on, you know, moving platforms or whatever, you can just make that. So I'm having a lot of trouble already just even navigating the first 2 jumps here. Wow, I can't believe I lived through that. Come on. So I'm going to call for help. And on this one I can have the computer do a quick demo of the jumps that I've already been failing on. I believe it locks the progress of the computer to how far you've gotten. Or no, maybe it just goes to the first checkpoint actually. So the first block, second block, over. So you can sort of map this out in your head and keep it present while you're trying to go through these jumps. And if that still isn't good enough, which it never is, you can spend some of your gems on actually showing you what to do in real time, which is kind of awesome. And this is your proof if you've ever doubted that a level was beatable. Just follow the bouncing ball. And another reason this studio is so awesome that you're probably going to hear so much about this game real soon, but they've put out a challenge that if anyone can beat the full game on the hardest hardcore difficulty, they'll actually pay you $1,000. I mean, I'm assuming you have to record that, which shouldn't be a problem for a lot of people, but that's pretty damn cool of them to do that. I can't think of a lot of other devs that have put their money where their mouth is, so to speak, with such a challenge. And this doesn't even look that hard compared to some of the levels that I've seen. This looks totally beatable. Let me jump back out of this level, and I'll just generate another one. Make a shorter one like that. I was hoping you could see some of the insane numbers of lasers and stuff, but this will have to do. Oh, this one seems downright easy compared to the last one. Whoa. And I really do appreciate that there's checkpoints, because after playing Meat Boy, checkpoints seem like a good idea. At least with longer levels like this. I mean, you can see how difficult this could be. There's freaking pillars of fire everywhere. I feel like I can probably beat this level if I get lucky. Just need to make it over them all before they spin back around, which that was not how you do that. No! If I could just get on that platform like a second earlier. Holy crap. Alright, well, that's kind of the idea. It's really hard. And I can't wait to Let's Play some of this and see how far I can get, and see what kind of insane levels I can beat for you guys. What do you think? Does it sound like a good idea? I think it does. So, I think that'll about wrap up this episode of Indie Impressions. Wonder what happens when I go up there. Oh, it just keeps dropping you. So make sure you check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/indieimpressions, and keep up on whatever's new with the channel. And I will be posting every night's video on there, and we can have sweet conversations and junk. And I guess I'll see you next time. So leave me a comment, let me know if you think that's a good idea to do a Let's Play of this. I'm probably going to do it either way, but just, you know, just for the fun of it. Leave me comments, I'll love to talk to you guys. Alright, have a good night, guys. Take care. I will see you tomorrow with another episode.